Biden sold oil from emergency reserves to Chinese gas giant tied to his scandal plagued son. Again, more evidence to show that China owns Biden. It and the as high as gas prices are today, you would think he wouldn't sell our oil reserves that he opened up, millions, and I think a million of it went to China, which makes no sense, especially since China is working with the supposedly the enemy Russia. Supposedly that's our enemy. Supposedly Russia's bad. Supposedly Russia, it's trying to take over this little country called Ukraine, little country according to uh, uh, Kamala Harris. But so if Russia's so bad and Russia and China are tied at the hip, then why are you giving China oil? That's the question. And we know the answer to that. Again, Biden is owned by the Chinese government, so of course he's gonna do China's bidding and look out for China's best interests. On Wednesday, Reuters revealed that more than 5 million barrels of oil had been oil from the nation's strategic petroleum reserves were sent overseas as part of President Joe Biden's latest release initiated in March. Some of that oil went to India, some to the Netherlands, and some was sent to China, where the president's son has engaged in years of potentially criminal business activity embroiling the Biden White House in scandal since the 2020 campaign. On Thursday, the Washington Free Beacon published new details about the Chinese oil shipment from the U.S. emergency reserve that Biden promised were tapped to, quote, ease the pain that families are feeling in the United States from high energy prices. So if it's to ease the burden of American families, of U.S. families, then why are you sending it to other countries? It makes absolutely no sense. Again, like I've been saying since he's been in office, this is all by design. He don't care anything about the American people. Biden is a globalist, and he put his interests in front of the country's interests. Quote, the Biden administration sold roughly 1 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to a Chinese state controlled gas giant that continues to purchase Russian oil, a move the Energy Department said would support American consumers and combat Putin price hike, the Beacon's Colin Anderson reported. Biden's Energy Department in April announced the sale of 950,000 strategic petroleum reserve barrels to Unipec, the trading arm of the China Petrochemical Corporation. That company, which is commonly known as Sinopec, is wholly owned by the Chinese government. So again, this is only going to benefit China. Sinopec is also tied to Hunter Biden, whose private equity firm BHR Partners bought a $1.7 billion stake in the company 7 years ago. Hunter Biden's lawyer told the New York Times in November that the president's son no longer holds any interest, directly or indirectly, in either BHR or Scanna Ladies, or Scanna Eagles, or however you pronounce it. Weird name. But according to the Washington Examiner, however, Hunter Biden remained listed as a part owner of the firm as late as March. And I remember because you could go on there and literally see his name online. Quote, business records from China National Credit Information Publicity System accessed Tuesday continue to identify Scanatiles as a 10% owner of BHR, and Washington, D.C. business records continue to list Biden as the only beneficial owner of Scanalitos. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong. I have no idea how to pronounce this weird name. Scan the paper reported. The White House has routinely deflected questions about Biden's business dealing to his attorneys, who have remained largely mum. It's possible that China Business Registry hasn't yet been updated to reflect a potential transfer or sale of Scanalides' 10% stake in BHR to another party, the Examiner added. Meanwhile, Biden's Energy Department has refused compliance with requests under the Freedom of Information Act, probing the administration's improper use of the nation's strategic oil reserves maintained for emergencies. So again, this is for emergencies. So why are you giving our oil reserves to China? It's supposed to be for a U.S. You're supposed to be for U.S. interests for U.S. emergencies, and he's giving it to China. I mean, no one has explained the logic behind this. So make this make sense to me, please. Make this make sense. It makes no logical sense. Last week, the Functional Government Initiative, a nonprofit government watchdog, filed a lawsuit to compel records concerning administration officials' decision to tap the oil reserves in the absence of a sudden disruption in supply, such as a hurricane or cyber attack. And that's what those reserves was meant for. It's for like natural disasters, or and I didn't know about the cyber attack thing. That's new to me, but I knew it was for mostly for national disasters and stuff like that. By the end of Biden's latest release from the emergency stockpile, the president will have depleted 260 million barrels from the nation's reserves. In May, the Department of Energy announced efforts to replenish only 60 million barrels of what's been released, despite an authorized storage capacity of 714 million barrels. The Energy Information Administration reported that just more than 492,000 barrels remain in storage on July 1st, exactly 1 month into the 6 month hurricane season. So hurricane is going to hit, and our oil reserves are already depleted because of Biden. Again, this again, I mean, the only logical conclusion one can make from all this information is that Biden is bought and paid for. He does not have the U.S. best interests. He's a globalist, and he's for aligning his pockets. That's why his son took in so much money and made all these deals overseas. So then all that money goes into the Biden coffers. Him and Hunter and Joe share bank accounts so they can funnel this money in, and it's totally illegal. This guy should be impeached. We need to throw him out of office. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out DeMarcoPublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.